These people at the Liberal Party just don't know when to stop, it seems. Like an evil scientist still grieving over the demise of his creation, Trudeau doesn't want to let his COVID Alert app rest in peace. Despite the epic failure of the COVID Alert app, the Federals are still thinking of ways to resurrect it and, as usual, enforce its use on Canadians. Owing to how badly the Alert app failed and disappointed them, the Liberals may be up for coercing Canadians to use the app, probably against their will. This plan by Trudeau and his Liberals was brought to light after an audit that was conducted on the app itself. This audit, which was done by the Office of Audit and Evaluation at Health Canada and the Public Health Agency of Canada, showed that the Liberal government was seriously considering making the COVID Alert app a thing again. In the audit titled Evaluation of the National COVID-19 Exposure Notification App, the government was keen to ensure the successful development of a next-gen contact tracing application for the future. The authors of the government report said, and I quote, "The evaluation reviewed a number of lines of evidence, including document and public opinion research reviews and interviews with internal and external key informants." They continued by saying, "As a result, a few lessons learned emerge and should be considered to ensure the successful development and launch of a similar app by the Government of Canada in the future." Of course, it is possible that whoever it is that wrote that report didn't find any evidence as was mentioned in the report, but then treating that would be us moving away from the scope of this news. It is crazy, really, that Trudeau is still eager to spend another round of millions on a pet project that has clearly been rejected by Canadians, at least from the look of how the last Alert app fared. But he still insists on creating something similar to what was, even though the taxpayers whose money he used to fund the last Alert app and would use to fund the next one if it comes around obviously don't want another one. And for the fact that it is us who funds the government with the money it uses for projects, we should have a say in how this money is spent and on what. To show you how bad things really went with the COVID Alert app, the government spent a whopping $20 million on the Alert app to bring it forth to Canadians. Trudeau leveraged the pandemic of 2020 to push his agenda of creating a means of tracking Canadians in the guise of checking their vaccination status and keeping Canada as free from the virus as possible. Because of how much it failed Canadians, Trudeau had to call for its retirement on the 17th of June 2022. This was after statistics showed that only 57,704 user keys were activated by Canadians despite the app receiving 6.89 million downloads. The percentage of Canadians who activated the app represented only 0.001% of the country's population. It was that bad. And because of this, an app which the Liberal government told the people would combat COVID and rid the country of many, if not most, cases of infection only detected the infection in about 2,446 persons, thereby confirming those numbers as active cases of COVID-19 infection. For an app that swallowed an entire $20 million, this was more than an epic failure, and the Liberals were solely to blame. Now Trudeau is nursing an idea to reintroduce an upgraded version of the app to Canadian society in the nearest future. And you can bet that he would demand a larger sum than the $20 million previously used for the last Alert app. Why? Because the Federals have said it themselves. The app would be next gen. While the country continues to languish in economic despair and hopelessness, Trudeau is still keen on pushing other agendas with the aid of public funds. The bad experience is supposed to make one wiser so as to avoid a similar event to that which caused the distasteful experience, and not make one more foolish and headstrong so as to try it again. But then Trudeau always has a way of toning the path of foolishness. As usual, the Federals said that they are only looking for a means to aid public health facilities with statistical data gotten from the people of Canada. This was contained in another part of the audit report, and I quote, "While keeping privacy at the core of app design, explore options to increase the ability to collect data, including personal information, to aid public health measures." They continued by saying that any discussion about the collection of personal information would benefit from early engagement of internal privacy experts and the Office of the Privacy Commissioner. It seems that they conducted their own research or adopted the already existing ones that border on the population's distrust of Trudeau's government, because they mentioned something along that line in the report. In it, the auditors said, and I quote, "Trust in government is also clearly an issue." When asked if they believe the government does not collect their personal information and that it does not allow the Government of Canada to determine their location, more than one half, which is 52% of survey respondents, did not believe the government. Now, how do they expect us to believe that the next Gen Alert app won't be the exact same thing as the previous one that was retired 3 months ago? And you can't blame Canadians for disbelieving Trudeau and distrusting his government. If there's one thing the Prime Minister has succeeded in doing, it is building his government on lies. Nothing that the government or Trudeau has done has really been genuine if you look deep enough. In every public act performed by Trudeau, there is always an ulterior motive lying therein, and he is so bad at this that he is almost always caught in the end. Canadians are not dumb. They read the news and they watch the happening so they know when a leader is planning to take them for a ride. Seeing that Trudeau is that kind of leader, it is only normal for them to lose faith in him and take whatever it is he says with a pinch of salt. The fact that the Public Health Agency of Canada, whom Trudeau claims to be looking out for with a next-gen alert app, was caught in a privacy breach mess earlier this year. Recall that it was discovered that the PHAC was spying on 33 million Canadians through their mobile devices and were thus made to suspend their mass data collection program. Surely, it would be insane if Trudeau is allowed to go on with his plan to resurrect the COVID alert app even in this dire economic situation. We can't keep letting this man spend our money however he wants, and we need to put a stop to this. How? You can leave your comments on the best way you think we can stand against Trudeau's plan to bring in another alert app so we all can learn from each other. Also, you can tell us what you think about the video in general. Your opinion is highly valued. There's a Telegram group we created where you can speak your mind on these issues without fear of being censored by YouTube. The link to that is in the description. Finally, please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. Turn on pot notifications so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Thanks for staying with us, and I will see you in the next one.